With 2020 just beginning, we're only just starting to see what this year has to offer for games, and we still don't know what is coming this year. So today, I'm here to talk about what games are most anticipated from me personally and from other people in the community, and just in general what looks interesting, and what most likely is going to be announced this year at E3 or other gaming conventions or by the companies themselves. Now, let me just start out by obviously saying Cyberpunk 2077. That game looks amazing. It looks to be a game that's really going to challenge other open world games and probably be one of the biggest and in-depth and breathing living worlds in all of gaming history. And I think it's probably going to define itself so much by that, but it also looks to just be a great FPS and a great RPG, and it's got so many good things going for it that obviously it's going to be at the top of this list, and it was the first game that popped into my head. And then obviously, of course, let's go with the other part of gaming, the narrative and story, which is The Last of Us 2. Obviously, The Last of Us 1, massive game, and I would argue that it kind of changed games and turned them into the direction that they are now, where a lot of them are story focused and a lot of them are really well written, and I think Last of Us had a lot to do with that, along with the Uncharted series and obviously other games. But that being said, I'm just very excited to see where Last of Us 2 goes. I'm really interested in that world, and I'd really love to see Ellie's story continue, especially after I've just finished replaying Last of Us in preparation for playing Last of Us 2 this year, even though it didn't come out like this month like I was hoping it would. But, you know, it's a game that everyone's excited for, and, you know, if you love great storytelling just in general, The Last of Us 2 is just going to be amazing. And then another big game people are really looking forward to this year is Ghost of Tsushima. This is a game from the guys that made Infamous, who haven't done anything since Infamous Second Son, or First Light, but that was kind of just DLC to Second Son. They haven't made a game since the launch of the PS4, which is crazy. And here they are releasing their new game at the end of the PS4 lifecycle, which is just nuts. It looks interesting, it looks stylish as fuck, it looks just beautiful. But with that being said, I haven't played a Sucker Punch game since the launch of the PS4, so I don't know. But it looks great, it looks promising, and I like that they're going in a new direction and starting a new franchise. And then, fourth on the list, I have Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal was meant to come out last year, I'm pretty sure, and it's been delayed a few times, I think, as well. I did play the first Doom, I didn't finish it, but it was great. I definitely seen how many people loved it. Not really my kind of style, but I still really enjoyed it. Like, the gameplay is so much fun. Obviously the story takes a bit of a backseat, and it's more about the gameplay and the gore and the violence, which I'm all for. Nevertheless, the first Doom was a really fun game. It was a bit of a surprise from Bethesda, and I'm really interested to see where it's going, but it just looks, again, one of those games that really seems to capture a great aesthetic, and it looks really stylish, and it just looks like all around fun, like it's not going to disappoint. And then next on the list I have Avengers. This is a game I've talked about in the past on this channel. I'm very skeptical about it. Their marketing's a bit weird. I don't really know what the game is. I'm very interested to see what's going on there. Yeah, it's a strange game, and I don't know what's going on. I'm interested. I love the Avengers. I love Marvel. I love all that kind of comic book stuff. I'm just intrigued to see where it goes. Yeah, as you can probably tell in my voice, I'm not super excited for this game. I am obviously going to get it because I think it looks good, but I just don't think they've marketed it very well, and I think it's just, not doing great. I was very excited about that delay that came this year, and I'm happy I'm not going to be playing it in May, and I'm probably going to be playing it in September. But I've also got to play Cyberpunk, so depending on how good that game is, I may not finish that game for a long time, so we'll wait and see. And then next on the list, which is a game that has also been delayed this year, is Dying Light 2. Might not come out this year, but I have a good feeling that it probably will, or very early 2021, but it's on this list because I have a strong feeling it's probably going to come out this year. But at the moment, it's actually been delayed indefinitely, and we don't know when it's coming out, which is fine. I'm glad they've done that, and they've given themselves not necessarily unlimited time, but a lot more time, instead of being like, oh, let's work to this time frame, and then they don't make that time frame, and then it gets delayed again, which just doesn't work out well. And I think a lot more game developers should actually just delay their game indefinitely, unless they are 100% sure they can meet this deadline and fix these bugs and polish their game up. Dying Light 2 looks great. I'm interested to see how it just works and how the choices seem to go, because the choices actually seem to play a very large role in this game, but obviously there's been lots of games in the past that have said that, so I don't know. But from the gameplay trailer, it seems like making a choice seemed to have added a new enemy type into the game, so that looks interesting. If that's kind of choices that happen throughout the game, where it affects the gameplay and the world and everything around you while you're playing it, I'm totally up for seeing that. Instead of it just kind of being an aesthetic change or an ending change or that kind of stuff, you know, where the game kind of be like, you're the bad guy now. I'd just love to see what they do, like how that game plays out, if that's the kind of changes that happen when you make certain choices. That's kind of one of the main reasons why I'm intrigued. As well, the open world looks amazing in that game. It's almost kind of like an open world Last of Us from the first person perspective with parkour. So yeah, I'm very interested to see where that game goes. And then next on the list is a game that not a lot of people talk about at all, and I think it's kind of been forgotten. And I know I've spoken on this past about how much I really do dislike Ubisoft, and that is Rainbow Six Quarantine. Now, I love Rainbow Six Siege. It's a great multiplayer game. It's something I come back to all the time. I'm not a hardcore player, but I mean, it was kind of part of the reason why I brought a gaming PC, was to get into the online community in that PC kind of place, so I wouldn't have to play it on my PS4. And Rainbow Six Quarantine looks to be a more story-focused game. I mean, we know nothing about it, but the trailer suggests that it's more of a story-focused horror game. Maybe this might be a part of what Ubisoft is doing by changing up the games and how they work, and I'd be very interested to see that. One of the main characters tends to be Ella, who's actually in Rainbow Six Siege and was a DLC character, which is interesting to see her as a main character in Rainbow Six Quarantine. But yeah, I'm very interested to see Rainbow Six Quarantine. They kind of did a bit of a weird alien thing as DLC from Rainbow Six Siege, so they might be continuing on that with this game. I don't know. All I know is that I'm interested. I really like the Rainbow Six Siege game. I haven't played any of the past games. I'm just, you know, I'm interested to see where it goes, and if Ubisoft are making these changes, yeah, I'm just intrigued to see where it happens. And then a game, again, that not a lot of people are talking about is Ghost Runner. It's actually set in like this sci-fi tower complex, and you know, it's got a lot of levels. It looks to be kind of like a blend of fast-paced parkour with violent first-person stealth. Player has to actually switch between the real world and the cyber reality. This game will probably complement Cyberpunk 2077 nicely, and might actually sell well if Cyberpunk 2077 also does really well, which it probably will. But this is just a game that no one's really talked about. When I was doing research and, you know, just looking into other games that are coming out this year, this game caught my eye. I was like, oh, what the fuck? This is a strange thing. No one's talking about it, but it looks great. I'm very intrigued. And I'd recommend people check it out. I know it's obviously not going to be for everyone, but it looks great, and I'm into these kind of parkour stealth games. Not a huge fan of Mirror's Edge, funnily enough, but Ghost Runner, again, just, it looks great. It looks interesting. It's right up my alley in terms of style and gameplay. So it's up to, you know, anyone if they just check it out. I recommend checking it out if you enjoy that kind of stuff. I just kind of wanted to put it on this list to bring attention to it. And then next on the list is Breath of the Wild 2, which is actually confirmed to come out this year, even though we've seen nothing and heard nothing of it, but it's probably going to have a strong showcase at E3 this year. Breath of the Wild, well, the first Breath of the Wild had a very strong showcase, and we don't even know if this game is Breath of the Wild 2. It's probably just a Zelda game for the Switch. And look, the matter of the fact is we have kind of seen nothing of the game, but nevertheless, the first Breath of the Wild is amazing. I've actually only just recently played it because I haven't had a Switch till this year, and I was blown away by how good it was. I was like, oh, it's a Zelda game, how good could it be? And it's actually really fucking fun. So that's really only just gotten my hype up for this title and this next Zelda game. And, you know, everyone's kind of, no one's really talking about it because we haven't heard anything, but I think everyone's kind of excited for it. Next on the list is Resident Evil 3, the remake, obviously not the original. This is another game that I'm just looking forward to in general. Resident Evil 2 was really fucking good in terms of a remake, and I think everybody should aspire to make a remake that good. It was a game that added its own new sections to it. The game is fucking amazing. That's a proper remake, and it was, I think, a lot better than what people thought. And the expectations are pretty much just as high for Resident Evil 3. They've removed some features from the old game, which is just like certain difficulties and certain game modes, and from what I could tell, they weren't important and not really integral. I think the story is going to be the same. I'm pretty sure they'll probably add their own new bits to this game as well, like they did with Resident Evil 2. And you know, the trailer makes the game look like it came out on this generation, so I'm very excited for the game, and who the fuck knows, it could be shit, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be just as good as Resident Evil 2. And then one of the last games, or the last game we know that's coming out this year, is Watch Dogs Legion. Now, this is a game I'm very skeptical on. I did not really like Watch Dogs 2. I just didn't like the themes. I don't think they really suited that genre. I didn't really think they suited the direction that Ubisoft wanted to go. Well, they did suit the direction that Ubisoft wanted to go, but I really don't think they should be going that direction in my opinion. But now, with Watch Dogs Legion, this whole NPC thing, I'm not a fan of. Just pick one character, make us play as that one character, give us some good character development, give us a character that we can, you know, kind of relate to, a character that's important to the fucking story, and, you know, not just some random NPC that's there to play a role for the character to play the game through. Give us a proper fucking character, please, Ubisoft. Jesus Christ. Like I said earlier, I don't know what the fuck's going on with Ubisoft at the moment. I'm not a massive fan of what they're doing, but they are changing direction, and, you know, once again, like I said in another video, they're going to make their games more unique. And Watch Dogs Legion, I'm very skeptical about. We've seen very little of. It looks to just kind of go for that same tone as Watch Dogs 2 did, instead of capturing that kind of dark, gritty tone that Watch Dogs 1 was, which is what I think they should have followed, but they didn't. Now, onto the games that I think we might see this year, and some games that I definitely think we will see. Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Now, this is a game that's kind of been rumored to be a PS5 release game. Now, we probably will see that at the PS5 event this month. If they do this event this month, I don't know if they will. Whenever they do a big event for the PS5, I think Horizon Zero Dawn 2 will be revealed there. And this is, like I said, this is a game that's heavily rumored. Horizon Zero Dawn 1, great fun game that was fucking amazing, and you know, it was one of the standouts for the PS4, and it was one of the games where I was like, holy shit, Sony really know what they're doing with their exclusives. Obviously we had Uncharted 4 at that point, but you know, Horizon Zero Dawn was like, holy shit, Sony are doing something really good here, and I think they really need to continue this, and they did with Spider-Man and God of War. And speaking of, funny enough, the next two games I have on my list are Spider-Man and God of War. Now, Spider-Man's a game that, again, has actually been rumored to be shown at some Sony press conference, I think it is. Spider-Man has been rumored for, and it's been given a 2021 holiday release date, so very late next year. Now, we might see this game this year. I'm confident that we probably will, or at the very least, we might get a tease this year, I think. It's been, you know, 2 years since Spider-Man PS4, so we probably will see something of it this year. And then God of War. We got God of War 2 years ago, kind of the soft reboot of the series. Probably in my top 5 favorite games of all time. I'm very much expecting to see some kind of tease maybe this year, but if we get nothing, we get nothing, but I'm hoping to see it this year at some form of Sony press conference, because Sony's not a D3, so they're kind of doing their own thing. Whatever they do, I would be very excited to see a new God of War trailer. But look, if we don't, I'm happy to just let them do their own thing. Take your time, write a good story, make a good game, do your thing. Don't make a shit God of War. Please don't drop the ball with the sequel. Make a game just as good. Very, very last on my list is the new Batman game. This game is all but confirmed. There was actually an article released yesterday by a man who's got a very good inside scoop on this game, and he had a good inside scoop on the Damian Wayne Batman game. He's pretty much confirmed the game's going to be shown this year, and he said, you know, everything that we pretty much all know, that it's a soft reboot kind of for the series. It won't have the Arkham name. It's going to feature the Bat family. It's going to have co-op. and just be patient. And then he kind of was like, people were very skeptical, and then he dropped concept art that wasn't revealed or leaked from the Damian Wayne Batman game, and he was like, hey, I have good sources, trust me on this one, it's being revealed this year. So yes, new Batman game. I mean, WB Games Montreal have very, very, very painfully teased us. I don't know what the fuck that marketing is. That is terrible marketing. And like I said in my no release kind of video, no reveal, sorry, be patient, just wait for this game. I know a lot of you fans are kind of like, holy fuck, where's the Batman game? Hurry the fuck up and show us. Chill out. It'll be revealed sometime this year. And that is it for this week. I know this video was a lot longer than usual, or 10 minutes longer than usual. You can check out everything Silver Soul Gaming in the description, the website, the Twitter, the Twitch, the Facebook, the Patreon. All my links will be in the description. My Twitter, my Twitch, all that kind of shit. I might try and get a stream up this week or sometime next week on this channel. Please come by and check that out. Escape from Tarkov. Really, really, really cool game, and I'd love to stream it. It's very popular at the moment, and and I'll just come by, have a chill in the chat, have a good chitty chat. I'm sorry this video was very late this week, been quite busy. I'll try and get a new video out earlier next week, one that won't be as long. And yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'll see you guys next week for another video.